They never really decided this is what is exactly is wrong with you and this is how we can fix it. It was kind of just, you have messed up discs in your back that probably won't get better. We can't do surgery on it, but do what you can. Okay, my name is Victoria LaRocca. I'm from Washington Township, New Jersey, and I am 21 years old. I'll be 22 this year. The first time I cheered, it was like in the middle of the season. So that weekend they had a competition, and I learned the routine the day before the competition and went out there and performed it and killed it. And my dad said, all right, this is what she was born to do. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. I cheered for Nitros, and then it got switched over to Excalibur. Then it got switched over again to Showtime. And then I totally left those owners and made my way to Jersey Pride, which is where I now coach. I started cheering at Jersey Pride in 2008. I loved it. I was on their first Junior 4 team, which was amazing. It was so fun. I then made their level 5 team my freshman year of high school, which was like huge to make level 5, especially as a freshman. It's a really big deal. I got my full that year. Like, it was like I was ready. Like, I was on my A game. And then after I made level 5 that year, I also made varsity as a freshman my high school year. And then I got hurt really bad, so bad that I had to be in a wheelchair, and it sucked. And then that's when I had to stop cheering, and then I went back to it again when I was a senior. But I was in a wheelchair for a long time. It was about like 6 months. I couldn't feel my legs at all. At one point, I went to a competition when I shouldn't have. I was pushing my body to do things that I shouldn't have been doing, and my whole entire body went numb, like from my neck down, and I could not feel my arms. I couldn't feel my legs. I was just laying on a stretcher, and they were touching me everywhere, and I couldn't feel it. I was in 7th grade, and actually my best friend, who's still my best friend, we were doing a basket toss, and she was doing, it's called a kick full, so it's a kick twist, and you throw it up in the air. And as she was coming around, it was her first time doing it, and she swung her whole body. So I turned my back, and she landed right directly on my back. And it knocked me down. I felt a shift in my body that was weird, that I can't really describe. And I stood back up, and my coach looked at me, and she was like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I'm fine," because I was just always fine. I hated like the attention of getting hurt. Like, I don't like that at all. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I can keep going. So I kept going throughout practice. I went back home. I was obviously in a lot of pain, and I wasn't telling my parents, because you tell your mom and dad that you're hurt, they take you to the doctors, and the doctors write you a doctor's note, and you're out for weeks at a time. So I just kept on pushing myself and pushing myself and pushing myself. When it came to one point where we used to do a carpool with a couple of girls in the squad, and one of the moms had to actually carry me out of the car because my body was so weak I couldn't walk to my house. And she literally pulled in the parking, like the driveway, and it was like a couple feet away, and I couldn't do it. And then she told my mom, like, she's not okay. Like something needs to be done. My body was like, enough is enough. I had to listen because I literally couldn't move my body anymore. After I finally stopped, I thought, cheering my freshman year, I thought that was it, really. So my high school cheerleading coach told me that, okay, that's totally fine, but I know how much you love cheerleading. You can still be on the team. You just don't have to stunt or tumble. You can just be on the football team and basketball. Obviously, All-Star was my dream, and that's all really I cared about, but high school was so much fun too. I was with my friends. It's all about having fun. I loved keeping the girls positive and keeping their spirit alive. So I said, okay, perfect, sounds good. So then my sister came into the picture, and I was a senior, and she was gonna be a freshman, and she's cheered her whole life too, but we've never been on the same team together. And she's worked her whole life to make varsity her freshman year, just like me. And I said, okay, if Abby is gonna cheer for Washington Township, then I have to too, but not halfway. So I knew if I trained my body the way it was supposed to be trained, I'd be able to stunt at least, and I'd be able to backspot her, which would be incredible. I knew my body couldn't handle the pressure of tumbling ever again, But I knew that if I strengthened my entire body from head to toe, I'd be able to stunt. So I talked to the coach, and she called me and she said, "Are you sure you want to do this? Like, are you positive that you think you're okay to do this?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm doing it. And it's not just for me, it's for my sister." When I cheered my senior year with my sister, obviously it was epic, and it was something that I'll never get back again, and I'll never regret. Like, it was something that I just always have with me. It'll always be in my heart. It'll always be in her heart. And honestly, us cheering together made us best friends, which is crazy but awesome at the same time. But obviously, I was on a level 5 team when I stopped, and 4.2 is a lot lower than 5. And I mean, when you're on a level 5 team, you're competing and you're trying to get a bid to Worlds, which is the biggest cheerleading competition in the world. 4.2 team, they can't go to Worlds. So I feel like it reminded me why I cheered. One night I woke up to, I fell asleep early that night, and I woke up to both my parents and they were fighting. And my dad kept on saying, "Why her? She loves cheerleading so much. Why did God pick her?" And my mom kept on screaming back, "We don't know, John. We have to stop asking that question. We have to stop asking it." And he just kept on saying, "It's not fair. It's not fair to the one girl that loves it more than anything in the world." But when I was on the level 5 team, trying to get that big bid to Worlds, having fun didn't matter. It was working hard and getting the bid. But being on the team with my sister reminded me that, like, no, it's not about that at all. It's about enjoying what you're doing and having fun while you're doing it, and falling in love with the sport you fell in love with when you were 5. While I was at Rowan, I was like, okay, honestly, I want to try out for the Eagles. Like, this is my year. Like, I want to do it. Like, I'm going to put all my ducks in the barrel and be like, you know what? This is happening. When I was little, I would tell my dad will tell all of his friends, my daughter's going to be an Eagles cheerleader. And so it's just always been in the back of my head. But when you set goals that are that big, you just never think that they're going to come true, like, ever. I mean, it's very, to me, it wasn't realistic. So when I came to the fact that I was like, wow, I think I'm going to do this, I think I'm going to try out, it started to become weird. I'm like, wait, I'm actually about to fulfill a lifelong dream that I've been waiting my whole life for. Hearing my name be announced, the video is awesome, like rewatching it and seeing it. They call my name and my number, so they say, number 35, Victoria, and I don't come out. Because you're supposed to walk out and you're supposed to wave and, like, be all cute, and I don't come out. And I'm standing back there and I'm staring, and I remember it, and I'm staring on the stage. And there's girls around me and they're like, Tor, they called your name, they called your number. No, they didn't. I literally blacked out. And they were like, Tor, they did. They called you. And I stumbled over my own feet. I'm tripping over my feet, running to the center of the stage. I'm hysterically crying, and I'm an ugly crier. And I'm just waving, and I'm just looking at my mom and my dad, and they're like the happiest humans in the world. Like, you must have thought my dad, at that moment, the Birds won the Super Bowl again because he was so happy. I've never seen him so happy in my life. To have worked my whole life for this moment, it was unbelievable and unforgettable. I'm speechless even talking about it. It's amazing. Going on the fields for the first time was literally the most amazing feeling in the absolute world. Every game, preparing to go on the field, I thought it would change. Like, oh, it'll start being easy. I get the same pit in my stomach. Butterflies, honestly, no. A whole zoo is exploded in my stomach. Actually be signing my name on my face, so weird. It's cool, but it's so weird. And, like, little girls look at you and you feel like $1 million. They make you feel like $1 million. Whether it be being a teacher or a doctor or a pro baseball player, whatever your dream is, make it a reality by just working hard, being determined.